Hey everyone, I just wrapped up a podcast with my hero, Gary Vaynerchuk. An honor to have him here. On this quick chat that we had, we went pretty deep on some of the common industry pain points for lawn landscapers, and I think the insight he had is extremely valuable. I hope that it's helpful to you and helps get you over some challenges and hurdles. Check out the video. Let us know if you have any questions, any feedback, or any insight. We'll see ya. All right, lawn and landscape professionals. I hope you're excited for today just as much as I am. Today we have a hero of mine, someone that I've looked up to for most of my life, especially in my youth. His name is Gary Vaynerchuk, and we're going to have him on today's podcast for a quick chat. His time is super valuable. I'm incredibly grateful that he's here today to bring some value to my audience, and I can't say thank you enough. So, if you are not aware of who Gary Vaynerchuk is, let me give you a few of his achievements, give you context as to what he does. So he started his career and grew one library from 3 million to 60 million. His dad's business that he helped operate. He now runs VaynerMedia, one of the largest, if not the largest, marketing agency in the world. He runs VaynerX, which is a holding company, Vayner Sports, which is a sports marketing company, and they also represent athletes. Created VFriends, which is an intellectual property. Think Disney or Sesame Street. Creates 250 plus characters. Super awesome. Check that out. 5-time New York Times bestseller. Author. Great author. Some books that you might be familiar with. Crush It. Jab, 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 right hook. 12 and a half is one of my favorites. He's a regular keynote speaker, early investor in Facebook, Tumblr, Uber, Twitter, a lot of the bigger companies out there that we know today. And I think that about does it for accolades and achievements. Did I miss anything, Gary?
Yes and no. I mean, we don't need to worry about achievements. I mean, my achievements those are like the secondary things. The way the relationships I have are the achievements. So that's what I mean by yes.
Amazing. Let's do it. So, Gary, I don't know if you know this. Again, you're a hero of mine. And in honor of you, we actually named the agency after your favorite color. It's pretty great because it goes well with the industry of lawn landscaping. The green marketing sounds got a good ring to it. But my question to you is, what is your favorite color and why?
My favorite color is green. I don't actually know if green became my favorite color because of the New York Jets, my favorite football team, or that, well, actually, I know how I picked the Jets, so that wasn't it. It was Eric Godfrey, and my friend said, you're a Jets fan. I think it's because of the New York Jets, though. I gotta find, there's some sort of like piece of paper my mom has, like for me from kindergarten, which was before I liked the Jets, where I think green is my favorite color. So I've got to figure that out.
Love it. That's super cool. Gary, we're gonna get to some serious questions, but thank you for answering that for me. What are your thoughts right now on the state of our economy? The world is in a really strange place. I feel like it is most of the time lately, and it can play a pretty big role, especially in the life of a small business owner. It's a lot to balance this stuff and kind of navigate it at times. Specifically, my question is for ambitious people. If you're ambitious, I'm just going to use my niche. If you're an ambitious lawn landscaper or even a home service provider, a contractor, yet you're uncertain about the economy, the state of the economy, how to grow, you're a little bit fearful, what would be your advice to that individual?
Yeah, I'm not an economist, so I'm coming from a complete guess. What do I feel? I feel that there's just a lot of instability in the world, right? There's war in Europe. There's a huge shift in the way the world communicates between social and traditional media. There's clearly a East versus West scenario between China and America that continues to get more strategic,
Yep.
if not contentious. You know, you got alliances, BRICS, right? Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, is a real economic alliance now that is something that the US and Europe can't ignore. That leads to like different actions, different instabilities. I think that there is incredible lack of people saving money. You know, the coolness of saving money of the 50s and 60s has become not cool. People live on credit. People buy things they can't afford. So that's always scary. And I think, you know, companies are in shake, you know, an interesting part. You're seeing a lot of the big tech companies lay people off. And a lot of people are like, what the hell? They have record savings, they have record dollars. Why are they laying people off? It's not like they're laying people off to like survive. It's that we just have a lot of inefficiencies. Technology and overhiring during COVID have just created inefficiency. Like, no matter how good or bad you feel about running a business, if you think that there might be issues in front of you, you'd rather get ahead of them, right? It's like, you know, why are companies laying people off? They haven't had a heart attack yet. Well, if you don't eat the wrong things and if you exercise, you can prevent a heart attack. So like, I feel like we're in very interesting times. I would say an ambitious small business should make sure that they have a just in case fund. So like, don't overextend yourself, be sitting on cash to the best of your ability, a little nest egg, but don't be frozen by fear. Like, be on the offense if you're good. Like, if you're good, you'll pick up business during tough times because your competitors will lose their business to you. And so, you know, with Vayner, we're trying to be thoughtful, but we're also trying to be on the offense and pick up market share.
I completely agree, Gary. I think that what it comes down to is how serious are you about your business, your growth, your goals, and your freedom. And that's all that matters. Nothing else, everything else is external and you can't control it. So if the economy is bad, it's bad for everyone else too. And it just gives you opportunity, if anything. So, for those listening, honestly, all that matters is you. So just be really clear about what you want and find the best path to get there. Gary, I want to hear your thoughts on word of mouth. So a lot of business owners in my industry rely on that solely to grow their company. And I'm actually a big believer in word of mouth. I think that it's really a standard where if you don't have good referrals or word of mouth in place, it's a reflection that your services that you provide are probably not very good quality. And so I think that it's a kind of a mandatory thing to have that referral system and word of mouth generation. But I don't know if it's enough to scale a company as quickly as some of us would like to, right? I think that there's a lot of inconsistency with it, and in order to scale, at times you need predictability and the option to turn kind of a faucet on and off, right? So my question to you: do you feel that word of mouth alone is reliable enough to grow and scale a company in this industry?
Yes. Like, you know, obviously I'd prefer that person to spend, you know, what they can afford on social media because I think, or Google, because I think it will search or social will help them grow. But, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say you have to run marketing. There's too many people watching right now who've only built their business on word of mouth. Word of mouth is powerful. My big point about that is like, why wouldn't you want to double your business if you could afford it and it didn't create anything negative for you, like work-life balance? Like, why would, you know, like, it's kind of like that Facebook movie, right? Like, you know, what's better than a million, a billion kind of thing, like that whole thing. It's like, yes, you can build a $3 million a year landscaping business with just word of mouth because you have a big enough, wealthy enough area where you're the guy, you're the gal for the last decade. My question is, like, why wouldn't you want it to be 5.3 million because you were good at Facebook and Google?
Yeah, Gary, absolutely. I think the answer is something that you say often, and that is and, not or, which essentially means both. And I'm a believer that word of mouth is actually amplified by good marketing because the whole idea of marketing is to bring leads in the door. And if you can provide them a great quality service, they're going to turn into advocates for your business, produce referrals, and grant you more word of mouth. So it's a full circle ecosystem there. And appreciate you for saying that and being honest.
It goes back to one's ambition. Like people are surprised when I'm in small settings where like there'll be like 10 of us and they're like, tell my friend that he needs to do, TikTok. And I'm like, like, well, he doesn't. I'm like, hey friend, what would you like to happen in your life? Well, I want to triple my business. I'm like, now you have to do social. But if you didn't and you're happy, then, clap your hands.
Yeah, you're 100% correct. For me, one of my biggest problems is I want to be the best of the best in what I do. I want to be at the pinnacle, number one, the biggest authority. And my brain kind of defaults into thinking that everybody else wants that as well. Just because I'm wired that way doesn't mean others are. And so I do come across a lot of people who are very comfortable with it, where they're at, and that could be 3 mil, it could be 500,000 a year, it could be even a solo operator. It really all goes back to your ambitions and your goals and what you want to do in life at scale for the long game and the effort that you're putting into making that happen, right? So, Gary, as you know, in our industry of marketing, there's a lot of gurus out there and fake it till you make it kind of guys who and gals who aren't really in a position to serve and grow a business like they say they are. And look, everybody starts somewhere. We have to make it work. We have to learn and develop our skills. But that comes at the expense of the client typically. And so I want to help our audience avoid that and uh, find a shortcut to getting the better result that they're looking for. So my question to you is two pieces here. When is the right time for a company to look for a marketing partner? So when should they know, okay, I need to really lock this in now. I need to find somebody to help me grow and scale consistently with confidence. That's the first question. Second question is, what should they look for in a marketing partner? What are some of the red flags or things they should expect when they speak with a partner who is going to essentially make or break the growth of their company in a major way, potentially?
That I think is a lot to do with word of mouth or examples. So let's just be very direct. In your world, anybody who's watching and considering your shop, they should talk to your current and former clients and see what they like. And there's not a single service provider that doesn't have clients that have had negative experience. Like I think we're the best, and there's plenty of people like, it didn't work for us. And it might be casting, it might be them. We might have had a bad day. They might have had a bad day. Like, so there's that.
Mm-hmm.
And then as far as considering it, I think it's one of two extremes. You want to be on defense. You're worried that the economy is going to get worse and you're going to lose 25% of your clients. So you want to go on the offense or defense, depending on how you want to look at it, to grow. Or it's pure offense. Like you're feeling great. You're not even worried about a recession and you just want to double because you want to have a bigger business for whatever reasons, the vanity, you need the money to pay for your mom in her nursing home. Like there's like, people always forget about all the reasons one would want. And so, by the way, you just want to go to nicer vacations with your family while your kids are still in the house and aren't going to, when they move out, you're never going to have 11 and 8-year-old again. And you just want a nicer vacation, a longer one, a fancier one. I don't care. Like everyone gets to choose what they want. So, if that's the case, well, then you need to grow your business, and marketing is how you grow a business.
Absolutely, man. So, one of the biggest things that we try to support our clients and position them for is to get out of the field. A lot of times, our clients are in the field themselves, at least partially, and we feel like that's a real killer to growth of a business. We want them to be doing the higher value tasks, building the systems, optimizing the systems, training their crew, elevating their team, right? Developing their leadership. And It's really hard to do that when you're in the field all the time or even partially. So we really encourage them to get out. And I want to ask you, what are your thoughts on that? Them getting out of the field, working on the business, and what are some tips and tricks and ways to do so?
Well, that's a big one in your world. I think almost everyone who's got a, hefty 6-figure or 7-figure landscaping business isn't hiring enough people to get them out of the field.
Yeah, understood. That makes a lot of sense. So then, how are you finding? How should you find good employees and be able to retain them once you do find them?
You find them by guessing, literally. You just hire people and then you get to see what they're like. You retain them by communicating with them and finding out what they value, whether that's money, work-life balance, even just caring about, the Mendoza line, the threshold for being good in this industry, because I've followed this industry for a long time, isn't very high. There's so many people that don't even have any kind of relationship with the people in the field. And then there's people that are incredibly good at having relationships in the field because they're in the field. And it's just about caring about your employee.
Perfect. Well said. As you grow a company and start to experience that, you're going to find out really quickly how important people are in your business. And I want to go ahead and wrap it up here. I apologize. I think we ran over time a little bit, and I'm very respectful of your time, so it's a big mistake on my end. But I want to say sorry for that. I want to thank anybody who watched this. Give some feedback, any insight, any takeaways. Feel free to share. Reach out in my DMs, social media. Drop a comment here in the video. Let's hear your thoughts. Hopefully, Gary Vee brought you some value today, as he always does to me.